So just another kind of fun, kind of short one that's pretty pointless and meaningless, because yeah, there's been again way too many long ones of late. So I thought I'd do a Gourmands video, but Gourmands kind of as a different kind of thing. Gourmands for Vikings, so they're going to be more kind of, you know, boozy ones, old kind of rich school ones, and etc. So yeah, I don't need much more of an intro. Yeah, clearly I've picked this motorway again, you know, this road from nowhere to nowhere with more traffic than the M1. It's great. So first on this list is from Frederick Mal, and that's Musc Ravageur. Now this is kind of a vanilla clovey one. Now they are sort of gourmand, if you like. Of course they are. You can have a vanilla clove cake. I've never had anything like that, but it is kind of, it does take you back to something that they'd have had in them days, you know, a kind of sweetness, but this kind of dirty musky animalicness, which there's not a lot of in this. So it's like a naughty cake, isn't it? A cake they'd have had under their furs, you know, carrying it across great landscapes and great journeys. It's cloves, it's vanilla, it's woods, it's warm, it's kind of comforting and sweet, just like a kind of Viking vanilla cake would have been. I'm not going to rant, I'm not going to lose it and rah, but yes, it's just comforting, cozy and snuggling. And I imagine after, you know, the Vikings bake this cake, they'll have that lovely smell of them, the vanilla, in all of their sweaty furs and that, and it's perfect. So that's Musc Ravageur from Frederick. Then an obvious one from me, Bohemian from Swedoft. Now this is like a dirty leather saddle. It's rough leather. It's kind of, you know, well worn. It's what they'd smell like after a long journey or a long battle. And in amongst there is a kind of very strong, almost whiskey note. Very boozy, so you know they've been swigging back the old booze to stay warm on the way back, which is kind of weird to say during this heat wave. But yes, they'll be knocking it back. They'll be skull, skull, and they'll be galloping along, and then they'll get home and they'll have a feast, and the leather will be all warm and worn, and everything will be a little bit green around them and dark in the forests. And again, that kind of sensual, beautiful whiskey note in it kind of adds to it all. So that's Bohemian from. Next is Killian's Angel Share, similar to the other one, but this is not kind of an on the road boozy one. This is getting to the Great Hall and toasting all the gods and counting up all the booty. Everyone's all kind of cozy around each other. They may have even had a bath, but there's a lot of, you know, rum and brandy and whiskey and ale. It's all kind of spilt over the benches, and you get that boozy smell of the woods and the warm spices of the food cooking in the corner and that. Maybe again someone's brought that Musc Ravageur cake. It's a bit of that kind of loveliness in the background, and that's what it basically is. It's kind of, it'll be a classy kind of in the Great Hall feasting fragrance. So that is Angel Share from Killian. Next is a Camel from Zoologist. Now wait, this is yeah, like I was saying, the Vikings do a lot of trade and interaction with faraway places. They also did get to the Middle East, didn't they? So, you know, it's perfectly possible that some of them saw a desert, although I don't know what they'd make of it. But this is kind of them rich, warm, if you like, exotic spices, and you know, like cinnamon and things like this. And this would have been something, and dates and warm dried fruits. This would have been something that would have absolutely fascinated them, and that they would have feasted on and really enjoyed and took home to their to their families and other people. And it, yeah, I think camel and that kind of dry, warm, sweet kind of fruity dryness and spiciness is an absolutely perfect gourmand for some travelling exotic trading Viking. Next is another kind of one from the same area, and that's Angam from Oman Luxury, and that one's it's kind of lots of spices, saffron, kind of very Middle Eastern-y smelling, with a kind of stewed apple. The apple in this is really nice, and again, apples would have been great wondrous things to the Vikings, things that would have been like the chocolate of their day. It would, you know, they'd have found these lovely sweet magical things which probably grow in Scandinavia. So I'm probably being quite patronising there, who knows. But anyway, they wouldn't have tasted it with all these dark spices. There's a touch of caramel in the base, warm, wonderful resins that would have wowed them as they ate these apples in their kind of, you know, the trading tents as they went through Europe and Asia and that. And is anyone telling me that I'm not in the Truman Show when they switch on the cars, you know, every time I film? Oh, here's another one. So that's Angam from Oman. Look. Next up is from Acro, and that's dark. Now this is the kind of gourmandy, non-gourmandy chocolate, isn't it? This is the kind of dark, beautiful, all different layers and textures and types of the beautiful magical chocolate and cocoa. They'd have obviously they did get to America, and they probably did get to South America, where these Aztecs and whatnot were playing with chocolate and smoking it, and the Vikings would have been absolutely, you know, loving that kind of thing. And yeah, it would have been very mysterious and exotic, but they too would have probably got absolutely addicted on it. That's probably why we never heard anything about the Vikings in America for many times. Maybe they were just entrapped in some sort of chocolate world of addiction and just loving it. And it obviously, back in them days, it wasn't sweetened and what have you, and mixing it with the nuts and stuff, the hazelnut and the lovely kind of dark vein of oud that kind of runs through it. Yes, a great kind of gourmand, a proper chocolate gourmand for the Vikings. Acro's dark. So finally, it's olfactivo and gourmand. Clue's kind of in the name, but this is another kind of sophisticated evening kind of one. You know, modern day Viking, if you like. He's got all of his friends over there drinking loads of rum and nice beautiful liquor and booze, and someone's got some gorgeous figs that they're dipping in all this booze as well. They're sumptuous, they're dripping down their beards and their hairy chests, and it's just this magnificent. There's a little whiff of that cocoa that they discovered, you know, 1,000 years ago there as well, and it's just this kind of really grown up, classy kind of thing. You know, they're talking about the stock exchange in Stockholm and Oslo and that. It's a really kind of beautiful, easygoing, grown up gourmand fragrance. Oh. I mean, I'm sorry, look at this. There's two cars that are identical coming up. Are you telling me this is not just to get at me? So yeah, yep, two identical cars, because they're running out of cars to put around in a circle. So in conclusion, this was just a kind of a bit of fun, some gourmands of a difference, something that, you know, someone who's not necessarily into massively sweet, sticky kind of things, someone who likes gourmands a bit kind of richer and more mature and enjoyable. What about you? What's your kind of Viking gourmand, your more gourmand fragrances? Do you prefer the sweeter ones, or maybe more lactonic ones, ice creamy ones? Alright, there'll be no more cars because now I've finished the video. Thanks folks, bye.